Hello, my name is Peter. I am the Bible study facilitator for Accessible Fellowship. And this week we will be starting the first lesson in our new quarterly. The month of September will be spent studying the identity of Esther. The title of the first lesson is Overcome by Grief. In October, we'll be talking about the things that shape us, and in November, we'll be talking about our identity in Christ. I'll issue a spoiler alert. The title of the entire book is We Belong to God. That gives you some clue as to what we will be studying. Lesson 1 opens with King Ahasuerus, who is known in history as King Xerxes, ruling Persia, which is, of course, Iran. The Persian kings had pretty well conquered all of the world that they knew about or that they thought was important. And one of the characteristics of their rule was that when they overran a country, they kidnapped the intelligentsia, the wealthy, the intelligent, the educated, and brought them back to the capital city, where they were indoctrinated in the new culture. This reduced the chance of rebellion. There was nobody to rebel back in the old hometown. And besides that, when these people were fully oriented, to the extent that they bought into their new culture, they provided a very strong foundation of intelligentsia to help the ruler rule. One of the results of this is that King Xerxes was surrounded by the descendants of immigrants. Now, you know that the king was not some figurehead. He was an absolute tyrant. He was a despot with absolute power. He had the power to round up all of the beautiful young girls in the kingdom, imprison them in his harem for a year, which would give them a chance to clean up and learn some manners, I suppose, and also, incidentally, ensure that they wouldn't be pregnant and give birth to an illegitimate heir to the throne, which caused trouble for many of these kings. Then he would spend one night with each of them in turn until he chose a queen. Now Esther, who was a Jewish maiden, was hiding her ethnic identity. She was chosen as queen. Political intrigue is a matter of life and death in these courts. Esther and her kin, the Hebrews, faced discrimination and genocide. Not for the first time in their history, not for the last time in their history. One scholar says that who Esther is writes the history of her people. To prepare for this week's class, I ask that you read the whole book of Esther. It's quite short. Keep in mind that the world is changing, and no matter how well you have known the story in the past, you will gain new perspective studying it again and making application to the world events of today. This is Peter from Accessible Fellowship. Go in peace.